Shut up and sit down.
What's the story, internet? I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Hope you're all enjoying your Friday, and I hope you're all ready for another wonderful weekend of football. So, before we jump into the Premier League, we've got a big match in the Premier League this weekend. There is a big match in the Serie A this weekend. It is third against fourth. It's Juventus against Roma. So, Roma is only 1 point ahead of Juventus, but Juventus do have a game in hand. And depending on who wins this, it could take them closer to Inter and AC Milan. So it's a very important fixture. Juventus will be riding high after beating the aforementioned Inter Milan in the Coppa Italia on Tuesday. And they'll want to keep their momentum high for the second leg of that fixture. So Juventus will probably come out fighting, but Roma is not a team to be sniffed at the moment. So big match in the Serie A and has a lot of connotations. Unfortunately, there's not any huge matches in the La Liga or the Bundesliga this weekend. There's a lot of important matches in the Bundesliga, but no like big rivalries or big important teams standing wise. It's a lot of sort of second against 15th, third against 18th sort of thing. So, but going into the Premier League, so let's start with the first match on Saturday. We have Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Aston Villa will be looking to come back from their 3-1 defeat against West Ham. And Arsenal will be looking to come back from their 2-1 defeat against Wolves. Now, David Luiz's red card was not overturned. And I don't believe Bernd Leno's red card was overturned either. So they'll be using a second place goalkeeper. And since they don't have, what's his name? Martinez, is it? Yeah, Emiliano Martinez. Sorry, his name completely left my head there. Since he's playing for Aston Villa, they'll find themselves a little bit stuck. So Arsenal will be at a huge disadvantage, and it's an important match because Aston Villa are 1 point ahead of Arsenal, albeit with 2 games in hand, and it's a good opportunity for Arsenal to strike because Tottenham are struggling. So it'll be an interesting match. Both teams wanting to bounce back, so I think they'll both come out fighting, and I think it's going to be quite a high-scoring match, especially because of Arsenal's aforementioned lack of defensive power. Next one, Burnley versus Brighton, is a very important match for the bottom of the table. As I mentioned quite a bit in my last video, Burnley, Newcastle and Brighton are quite a distance ahead of the teams below them. However, this match will go a long way to solidifying that. So if Burnley got 3 points, that would put them on 25. If Brighton got 3 points, that would put them on 27 and would in fact take them above Wolves, unless Wolves performed well. So quite an important match at the bottom of the table. And Burnley have been in inspired form, except for the loss to City, which there's no disrespect there. And Brighton being Liverpool, 2 teams that are in fine form. I can see this being a bit of a stalemate. I think they'll cancel each other out, and I think it's probably going to be a draw, maybe a 1-1 or a 0-0. So, Newcastle versus Southampton. 2 teams that definitely need to bounce back. Southampton's Jan Bednarak, his red card was overturned, so he will be available. And so that's important for them because he's been such a staple in defence, except for his own goal against Manchester United and then the aforementioned red card. So it's very important for them to be able to bounce back. Newcastle would also like to bounce back, however, I don't think they're going to be able to cancel out Southampton unless they're just so demoralised from the 9-0 that they just completely lose focus and Newcastle go forwards. No disrespect to Newcastle, just there's not a lot to suggest that they have enough in the tank to overtake Southampton. But I said that about their game against Everton, so you never know. You never know with Newcastle, it depends on which side shows up. Next one, Fulham versus West Ham, bit of a London derby there. West Ham are in inspired form. They beat Leeds 3-1 and they are in 5th. They're 2 points behind Liverpool. I think West Ham are going to win this. Fulham could do with the points. They really, really need the points. So I think they'll come out fighting. And Fulham, it's not like Fulham haven't had the performances. It's just they haven't had the results. So So yeah, it depends on who shows up on the day, but I think West Ham's probably going to edge this one, I think. So next match, we've got Manchester United versus Everton. Everton had a good result midweek. They beat Leeds. Manchester United have a very good result midweek by beating Southampton 9-0. But they can't get complacent. This is the worst time to get complacent, is go and have an amazing result like that and then go and play Everton, get cocky, and then it all fall apart. So got to stay focused, got to keep the head. I think it should be a good match. I think both teams will probably cancel each other out again. Both got something to fight for, both had good results. I think it's going to be a hard-fought match. When I say cancel each other out, I'm not saying that it's going to be a boring match. I don't think they're going to completely cancel each other out and just stop each other from performing. So, but I think it should be an entertaining match, to say the least. Next match, Tottenham versus West Brom. Tottenham desperately need a win. They desperately need a win. After losing 2 home games on the trot, then they lost to Liverpool as well, which Liverpool's performances have not been good recently. Yeah, it's just not a good time to be Spurs. And if they lose to West Brom, you might start seeing the reports of Mourinho's job being in jeopardy. Not that I'm saying it should be Mourinho out, I'm just saying you'll probably start seeing those reports. So yeah, West Brom can do a job on teams. They won 5-0 a couple of weeks ago, and Big Sam is a master at getting teams out of the bottom. And if they got 3 points against Spurs, that would be a very important 3 points for the bottom part of the table. So they'll definitely come out fighting regardless of what the result is. I don't think they're just going to sit down and take it. So it could be a boring match though, because both teams have a tendency to just sit back and soak up pressure. You can't soak up pressure if the other team isn't pressurising. So they could just sort of be stuck in a stalemate. But Wolves versus Leicester City. Leicester had quite a good result midweek by beating Fulham, and Wolves had an even better result by beating Arsenal. But as we've seen with Wolves in the past, even though they might have one good result from one match, it really depends on which Wolves side shows up on the day as to how they're going to play. So I think this should be an entertaining match, but I think Leicester's going to take it, especially because of how they've been playing. They've just been doing so well recently. So I'm going to hang my hat on Leicester doing well this time. And then the big one, it's first against fourth, City versus Liverpool. It's the one that's on the board. Now, as a Manchester United fan, I'm torn, because obviously I don't like either of the teams. But I think I'd have to say a Liverpool win, because it would take points away from City. But City have just been playing so well, I can't see them not losing. I actually think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be more like a 2-2. I think both teams are going to be very attacking, and I think that they're going to score goals. So yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be a bit of a goal fest, but even Stevens. And so we'll just have to wait and see. That would put, if that happened and Manchester United won, that would put Manchester United 1 point behind, and City would still have a game in hand. But it would shake things up in the table, because it means that Manchester United would still be caught up. So yeah, quite an important match for the table. Next match, Sheffield United versus Chelsea. Sheffield United have been performing admirably recently. They got their 3rd win of the season, so congratulations to them. Chelsea undefeated under Thomas Tuchel, 2 wins and a draw. Not the most exciting of wins against Spurs, thanks to the Jorginho penalty, but still they're in form. So Sheffield United have to be careful, especially because they do have a tendency this season of losing 1-0 or losing by 1 goal. So I'm probably going to have to say that Chelsea will win it just because of their form, and I think Tuchel will want to keep the momentum going. But Sheffield United have been battling, and if the Blades can keep battling, especially because it's at home, you never know, could be seeing another Manchester United result. So, and then the last match of the weekend is Leeds versus Crystal Palace. Leeds will want to bounce back from the loss to West Ham, and Crystal Palace will want to build on the momentum of beating Newcastle. So Both teams will come out fighting. I'm going to say that Leeds will win, just because I think that they've been performing the better this season. However, with the form that both teams are in at the minute, we'll only see when the final whistle is blown. Could go anyway. So yeah, some interesting matches this weekend. The United-Everton one, Liverpool versus City, and Aston Villa versus Arsenal are my matches to watch. And then let's go over to here so I can tell you which channels they're going to be on. So, Aston Villa versus Arsenal is on NBCSN and Universo. So is Newcastle versus Southampton. Burnley versus Brighton is on Peacock. Fulham versus West Ham is on NBC Proper and Universo. Manchester United versus Everton is on NBCSN and Universo. Tottenham versus West Brom is on NBCSN. Wolves versus Leicester, also NBCSN, so is Liverpool versus Manchester City. And then Sheffield versus Chelsea. And then the Monday match is Leeds United versus Crystal Palace, and that is on NBCSN. So I hope you enjoy the weekend of football. I'll be back with you on Sunday to review the weekend and to reiterate the Leeds versus Crystal Palace match, which is on Monday. And then to preview the upcoming matches next week, especially the Coppa Italia second legs. So until then, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're all staying safe and keeping out of trouble. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until next time, ta-ra for now.